Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into something I think we could all use a little more of, the discipline of clarity. You know the high cost of letting unchecked emotions just dictate your day, right? Well, today we're jumping straight into a specific framework that acts as the ultimate interrupt switch for those exact moments. Let's get right to it. Now, I want you to think back to the last time you felt a sudden, intense emotional surge. You know the feeling. Your heart rate spikes, your jaw clenches up, your mind just starts racing. In that exact moment, try asking yourself, is this a real crisis or just a temporary discomfort? This single framing question is the absolute core of our explainer today. It literally forces us to hit pause before that knee-jerk reaction takes the wheel. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. When emotions magnify reality. So when a triggering event happens, we usually get hit with one of four heavy emotions: anger, frustration, irritation, or this sudden urge for revenge. And it is wild to see how fast these can stack up. I mean, a tiny grain of irritation instantly compounds into frustration, which scales right up to anger, and before you know it, you're possessed by the urge to fire off some nasty reply. These heavy emotions can completely hijack your rational thought process in absolute record time. The micro-journey of an unchecked reaction is honestly fascinating. First, your mind magnifies the situation. Then, it treats discomfort as danger. Here's a crazy fact for you. The amygdala in our brains literally processes a passive-aggressive email using the exact same survival hardware it uses for a predator attack in the wild. It just screams danger. And third, because of that perceived threat, it reacts instead of thinking. But the absolutely crucial takeaway here is that not everything that feels intense is actually a serious threat. Section 2. The cost of reacting. Without objectivity, we set off a dangerous domino effect. At the 1-second mark, the stimulus hits. And if there's no pause, bam, immediate reaction. Fast forward just 1 minute, and a totally solvable small issue has exploded into a massive conflict. Give it an hour, decisions are being driven entirely by heated emotion, completely divorced from reality. And by the end of the day, those unchecked reactions have basically crystallized into deep, lasting regret. It's a rapid downward spiral, all stemming from that initial failure to pause for just 1 single second. It all boils down to this. Many problems in life are not from the situation itself, but from how we reacted to it. Think about it. How often is the original trigger actually pretty minor, but our impulsive, heated reaction is what caused the lasting damage? More often than not, the reaction causes significantly more harm than whatever initially annoyed us.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we categorize things. Section 3, crisis versus temporary discomfort.
We need to draw a stark, undeniable contrast in our minds here. We're comparing a genuine, sirens blaring, real disaster with what is usually just a ripple in the water, a temporary discomfort. Being able to instantly drop a situation into one of these two buckets, that is the absolute key to emotional discipline. Let's break down the exact characteristics. A real disaster involves permanent damage, major consequences, a severe impact on your health, safety, or life, and it carries long-term effects. That is a true crisis. On the flip side, a temporary discomfort is really just a hurt ego, an inconvenience, a minor disagreement, or a delay. It's a setback. So ask yourself honestly, how many of those daily frustrations actually fit the criteria of a disaster? Most of the time, let's face it, we treat minor inconveniences with massive, totally unnecessary panic. Accurately diagnosing the situation matters so much because it dictates your correct behavioral response. A real disaster, that requires immediate action, deep seriousness, and a robust response. But a temporary discomfort requires patience, perspective, and restraint. Shifting how we classify the problem automatically shifts us from a volatile reaction to deliberate action. Literally, the moment you mentally categorize a stressor as temporary, your nervous system automatically stands down. It's like a superpower. So, how do we actually do this? Section 4, mastering the pause technique. When that emotional surge hits, there are 4 incredible questions that act as an immediate circuit breaker. 1, is this going to matter in a week or a year? 2, am I reacting to objective facts or just my internal feelings? 3, what actually happened versus the catastrophic story I'm imagining in my head? And 4, is this pain real or is it just being amplified in my mind? Walking yourself step by step through these 4 questions is honestly the ultimate way to create space, putting that much-needed distance between the stimulus and your response. Moving into our final phase. Section 5, finding your inner calm. It's super helpful to remember that our minds actually treat discomfort like danger, unless we actively train them otherwise. We are literally wired to overreact. It's a deeply ingrained survival mechanism. Because of that, this discipline of clarity isn't something that just happens automatically. It requires conscious exploration to teach your brain the difference between a minor annoyance and actual peril.
And this brings up a critically important nuance about objectivity. Objectivity is not about ignoring your feelings or suppressing your emotions so you become some kind of unfeeling robot. It simply means not letting those emotions distort reality. You can absolutely feel angry. You just can't let that anger convince you that a temporary discomfort is a life-altering disaster. True discipline is about clarity, not becoming numb. It's about being entirely accurate.
This creates a really powerful internal mantra for those high-stress moments. In moments of emotional disturbance, I will step back and distinguish between real problems and perceived disturbances, so I can respond with clarity instead of reacting with impulse. Imagine keeping that framework in your back pocket the next time an unexpected curveball gets thrown your way. It is a phenomenal reframing tool. And the practical benefits of this, they are huge. By mastering this pause, you avoid unnecessary conflicts. And you're not just dodging a pointless argument at work today, you're setting a whole new standard for your future self. You empower yourself to make much better, rational decisions when the pressure is on. You fiercely protect your most valued relationships from the lasting damage of impulsive words. And above all, you are building a steady, unbreakable inner calm that holds strong regardless of whatever chaos is happening outside. Not every emotional surge deserves a reaction. Some only require awareness. Sometimes the absolute most powerful thing we can do is simply notice the frustration, acknowledge it, and just let it pass entirely. Thank you so much for exploring this with me in today's Explainer. So I'll leave you with this to ponder. What is the very next emotional surge you are going to consciously choose not to react to today?